Today we're going to be learning how to build the Drop Point Hunter knife kit. This kit's available as a blade that has a brass finger guard or steel finger guard. We're going to be working with the brass one today. We're also going to be working with these handle scales. There are many pre-cut handle scales available, as well as blocks and the like, G10, different things like that. The blade comes in a box, little gift box. You just take it out. Again, we're working with the brass finger guard version today. You can also get a steel finger guard. We're going to have our handle scales. We're also going to have our pin stock and thong hole tubing. We're using a basic steel pin stock and thong hole tubing today. These are available in 6-inch pieces, and we cut them down to about 1 inch for this. They're .187. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to rough fit our handle scales so that we can get ready to drill the holes in there for the pin stock. So you're just going to clamp one side of the handle scales on, and then we'll put it into a vise. As we drill each hole, we will put thong hole tubing or pin stock into it so that it keeps your handle lined up. So you can see here there's already 2 out of the 3 in there. Once you've done one side, you'll just go ahead and do the second side exactly the same. And then once you've got them both done, you'll epoxy. This is DEFCON 2-ton epoxy. Available at the website. There are also other types of epoxy that we carry if you prefer. Almost everything on here can really be modified. You could use brass pin stock, you could use mosaic pin stock, you could use vapor res or voodoo resin handle scales. The possibilities are really endless. One important thing to remember though when you're working with epoxy is be ready to work with it as soon as you mix it together. Depending on the type that you're using, you're only going to have a limited amount of time, sometimes extremely limited, to actually be able to get this done. So once you mix it together, be ready to apply the epoxy to both scales and be able to put them onto the tank. Now you don't have to use a lot. You want to make sure that you fully cover the scale, but you don't want it completely gooping out when you squeeze it together. That just creates a lot more cleanup for you. Once you have the epoxy on both of them, we're going to make sure that we get them both on there lined up as best that we can. We're going to go ahead and put our pin stock and thong hole tubing in at this point so that we make sure that they are perfectly lined up. And then we're going to clamp the handle scales. Now remember, when you clamp these, you don't have to go super tight. You don't want to go so tight that you crack your handle material or even that you dent your handle material. You just want it to be snug so that you get nice, even pressure across the scales. Now, we're using 3 clamps here, but if you wanted to use 2, you probably could on a smaller blade like this. Now we're ready to start sanding down our handles. The first thing that we're going to do in preparation for that is tape the blade. Now this serves 2 purposes. One, it will help if the blade does happen to slip in your hand while you're sanding the handles. It will help prevent you from getting cut. The second thing is if you happen to really bounce the blade while you're holding it and slide it over and let the blade hit the sanding belt, it will protect the blade from getting nicked up. So we're going to start with a fairly coarse belt. This is just like any other type of woodworking. If you've done it before, you're going to be able to take the most meat off with the coarsest belt. And then we're simply going to change the belt as we get closer to the finish that we want until we get the handles exactly like we want them with a nice smooth finish. We're showing here using our Kalamazoo, one of the Kalamazoo grinder sanders. The grinder sander and the belts are available at the website. Of course, if you don't have this, it's not absolutely necessary. You can hand sand. You can just buy sandpaper and do it, or you could finish it with sandpaper, either way that you prefer. That is also available. And then you're just going to take a polishing wheel and kind of polish it up. And then next we can just remove the tape from the blade. Just check it for your final fit and finish, and then clean the blade, wipe everything down, and we are done.